coming out. Oh, and okay, another. Okay, well, wow. And Blastic actually catching up here at the very end. He gets a very nice pipe there. Like, T-Technique does a completely different style there than Svader. More speed after that bounce. We both go for this crazy. I get a little bit lower kick. And who won? Welcome back to the 4th week of the Cream Pie Cup. And as I say it, I'm starting to think that maybe YouTube doesn't like the fact that I say the word cream pie like 30 seconds into the video. So instead, I think we should stick to the much less misinterpretable abbreviation instead and just go with the CP Cup. Welcome to the 8th event by Error. A very short, probably the shortest pipe so far in the cup, but a very fast-paced and action-packed level that had like 2 main cruxes. One is the middle here, and also after this bottom part, when you gain a lot of speed, how are you gonna turn against this wall without dying? 2 very interesting parts of the level, and I think they might be very decisive in the end. And for the second event this week, we have this slightly longer pipe by legendary artist and level maker InSky. If you've ever like played just one external level to Elastomania, there's a pretty big chance InSky made it, at least if you played like back in the day. And it's always nice to see his levels in a cup. They're usually very flowy, very like nice to play. So I'm expecting to see some very nice cruising here, but a bit less clear where you're gonna be able to save time in this level. But let's jump straight into it. We'll start with Error's pipe and the battle for 4th place. We have me in the white shirt, we have Anatoly in the green shirt, and we'll start out by following Anatoly because I don't think we've actually spied one of his replays yet. So here we go. Starting straight down here, you had to like avoid getting caught there on the corner and coming out. Oh, and okay, Anatoly, okay, well, wow. Anatoly actually goes straight down. I go for a bounce there. Anatoly has a slight lead, but I have more speed after that bounce. We both go for this crazy turn up in the very top corner there. But Anatoly has a lot of speed coming out here, and he has a good lead over me so far, actually. Coming up here for this very like tricky turn, you have to be able to come all the way out here without getting caught. And Anatoly has a huge lead, but I get a very nice bounce there towards the end, and I'm catching up. But Anatoly wins at the very last moment. But what the hell went on in this replay? So first of all, I knew this was maybe a possibility, but it just felt so slow to stop here. Anatoly breaks and comes down. I on the other end, I go out here and I get just a bounce here. So I come in here with more speed, but Anatoly, of course, he travels us like shorter distance. But at this apple here, we're completely tied up and you just come into this corner. Very like silly, very easy to hit your head as well. But if you got it right, it felt very nice to get actually. I get a little bit of wheel pressure here inside the pipe. But Anatoly has a very big lead over me here towards the end. But here also I get a very nice bounce that also felt so good to get. You can tell if you didn't like break a little here, you would actually come too low and hit the corner at the very bottom of the screen here. So what you do is you break a little there, and that kind of gives you like a slight bounce out towards the left. So with that you can build up more speed towards the left, and that's actually why I'm catching Anatoly a little bit. But Anatoly just has a better end and reaches the flower before me. So Anatoly comes in at 32.18. I come in at 32.29, 1/10 of a second behind him. But it's gonna be very interesting to see which middle style is actually faster as we jump into the battle for 2nd place already. And in that battle we have 2 familiar Kuskis. It's Blastek and BaryP, or is it BaryP and Blastek? I don't know, I get confused. But it's also Team CMR versus Team Dot here. Let's start by following Blastek and see how the 2 teams compare. And let's see. Oh, Blastek actually getting caught a little bit here. Oh, but they both go for the break and turn. No bounces here. But BaryP does get a tiny bit of lead. Doesn't get caught there in the very beginning. And will they bounce here, or will they both go around in the corner? They do. The bounce could actually be very fast down there if you manage to get it well. But coming up here, and Blastek actually catching up here at the very end. He gets a very nice pipe there, coming up to this right-hand corner, and both of them in the lead. Oh, but BaryP gets a beautiful, beautiful bounce there right at the very end. But let's see that again. Blastek in the very beginning here gets a little bit more snag on this corner, and BaryP just gets a very clean entry here, so he does come out with an early lead. Both of them breaking, coming in for this pipe here. Both of them going around in the corner. Again, you can see how like close the chin is here. It's basically touching the floor, or the ceiling, I guess, in this case. But coming out here, but Blastek then caught up very well here in the pipe, gets a nice wheel pressure to transfer some of that momentum to be like upwards momentum instead. Good push here from the wall, and they're both very equal here. But PhotoPea just gets such a nice bounce here. Boom. You can tell the like back wheel just kicking off when he brakes here. Like compressing, braking, and that just pushes him out towards the left. Very, very beautiful bounce, and felt so good once you got it well. Straight into the pipe and straight in for the flower. So PhotoPea beating out Blastek in the end by a quite big margin, like 0.25 seconds or so. But that means we just have one more replay to go. And in first place in the 8th event by error, we have none other than Zero. I mean, of course it's Zero. But interestingly, again, we don't see Audi. So he skipped one level, like he skipped his own event last week where he didn't play, but that makes sense. But he didn't also play 208. So was this one more tactical skip by Audi? You're allowed 2 skips in total, so that would be fine. But before we get to that, let's check out Zero's winning run in Error's pipe, where he wins by more than half a second on PhotoPea. Cactus Man in the green shirt. Don't forget to check out his stream Tuesdays through Thursdays in the evening time, European time. Let's check out Zero's winning run here. As they both come in for this first drop, I assume not gonna get caught or anything. No, just very clean entry there into the pipe. Clean braking here, turn. Zero with a slight lead, but PhotoPea did this part very well as well. So not much to save, and yeah, no fancy bouncing, going straight here. Oh, and very nice to keep that grip on the ground there as well. And Zero does get this tiny bit of wheel pressure as well to transfer some momentum. And good push with a tiny bit of brake there from the wall. Good early brake here in the ceiling. Very nice bounce. Very good grip in the very end pipe as well. It's, again, just a perfect run by Zero. It's so clean the way he drives and the way he just clears these corners and everything. You can tell already a slight lead here. And this turn as well. Good auto timing here out of the wall. And pushing down here with a tiny bit of brake. At this point here, you can tell there, the wheel just drags a little bit to not come up too much, but also to keep the grip on the ground. Good wheel pressuring here, and here as well, just a tiny bit of brake. Boom, there. You can tell the wheel stops to just get a bit more push out towards the left. Better gassing, and this bounce, just perfect. And also manages to gas a little bit in the ceiling here as well in the very end to just keep that grip, keep that speed. And nice flower catch as well. So Zero wins another event in the Cream Pie Cup. That's 7 out of 8 events so far that Zero has won. But will he be able to win the 9th event as well? Only one way to find out. And we'll start out with my replay again against Sveiner this time. And we've seen Sveiner getting some very nice finishes in this cup so far, but I believe this is the first replay of his that we're checking out in this cup. So we'll start by following him in the spiral shirt. An interesting note is that this is the first frame of the replay, and you can tell that we're already a little bit misaligned here. So I think this means that we have some slightly different inputs here in the very start. But let's check out Sveiner versus me. When Sveiner pushes out a little bit further here, I push straight down with just a like instant breakdown. But it seems that Sveiner's start was actually much faster than mine. He's already like a bike length ahead of me here, coming in for this first like very awkward kick. Like you can tell it's slow, you drop, you're not really doing much in the air. It was a very awkward part for me at least to play. But Sveiner keeping his lead here, maybe like half of a bike length so far, and coming in for this drop. And a lot of like cruising in between pipes in this level. So you have this loop part, you have this part here as well where you had to avoid. Oh, and Sveiner actually does like a very nice dodge here that I just like jump above it, but Sveiner dodges it instead, is able to go a little bit lower. And Sveiner has a huge lead, but I'm catching up a little bit here towards the end of the pipe. And so far, yeah, Sveiner has had a lead for the entire level, but I'm catching up here at the very end. But Sveiner gets a nice transfer here into the straight downwards pipe. And Sveiner does have a nice lead here towards the end. And we're both coming in for the last kick here. I get a little bit lower kick, and who won? It's impossible to tell. Sveiner has a good lead throughout this entire event. Or entire level, and Sveiner again here does a very nice dodge, whereas I jump high, I get a little bit of snag. So just very like much better execution here by Sveiner. But I think I get a little bit better kick here, a little bit better gassing in this pipe, so I'm able to catch up a little bit here towards the end. But Sveiner then has a very nice transfer here, or we're pretty much dead even. Coming in here for the very last pipe, for the very last push. Sveiner has a good lead, but I actually got a very nice ending here. A very good push straight into this pipe, barely avoiding the head here. And I'm catching up towards the end. I do a lean back and it turns out that Sveiner got 5th place at 102.13 and I got 5th place at 102.13. We got the exact same time in the end, 62.5 points each, beating out AKB by only 0.03 of a second, beating out Tay by only 0.5 seconds. So a very, very tight battle here. But right ahead of us, we had 2 other Kuskis in 4th place. T-Technique, also from Team EMA, but comes in at 1:00:59, more than 1.5 seconds faster than me and Sveiner. And right ahead of T-Technique, we had Mira from Team Mie at 1:00:42, so barely squeezing out a win against T-Technique. But how are these Kuskis able to get 1.5 seconds better times than me and Sveiner? Let's find out. And in the black shirt, we have T-Technique. In the ribcage skeleton shirt that doesn't really show here because it's transparent, we have Mira, and we'll start out by following him here. And a little bit different kind of start again here. And it looks like Mira maybe comes out a little bit ahead. And that's funny because Team EMA with Sveiner had a faster start than me, but it looks like Mia managed to find an even better start here. Oh, but okay, what? Like, T-Technique does a completely different style there than Sveiner. T-Technique goes for a huge spin, which allows him to catch up and take the lead over Mira. Why didn't Sveiner do that style if it's so much faster? But okay, so T-Technique already has a huge lead over Mira here, even though he had a slightly better start maybe, both of them dodging the polygon here that sticks out. Oh, and no brutal on the wall either, they just push straight into this pipe, and T-Technique coming in here. But again, it looks like EMA are losing a little bit in this upwards pipe here, just like Sveiner did against me. And Mira is caught up again. T-Technique, slight lead ahead of Mira, but Mira coming here in the ribcage shirt and takes over the lead again right towards the end. Will he be able to keep the lead or will T-Technique catch up here? It looks like it is Mira. And I just realized now, of course we know it's Mira, but I already forgot. But this was such a crazy run. Mira, early lead, but T-Technique here goes for a double all-of-all push. So he gets so much speed out of that. Why didn't Sveiner do the same move if that's so much faster? That makes no sense, but T-Technique, huge lead. And just like very nice playing here. And Mira again catching up here a little bit in the upwards pipe. Doesn't maybe get as much snag here. You can see T-Technique, well, he kind of does. But he just manages to keep his momentum somehow. Maybe it was a little bit better like part before the pipe. And yeah, coming in here, Mira taking over just right at the very end. But in this case, he manages to keep that lead straight to the flower. And yeah, I'm just confused why Sveiner from Team EMA wouldn't do the same middle style there. Because, yeah, I bet that was a big part of why T-Technique was able to get such a good time. But then again, Mira managed to get an even better time not doing that middle style as well. So maybe it wasn't actually faster? It has to be, right? I guess we'll find out when we spy the first place replay. Because in second place, we had Barry P. 59.60, beating Mira by almost a second. And in first place, by now, I guess you know where this is going. In first place, Zero at 58.72, a full second better than Barry P. And since both of these players are from Team Dot, I'm thinking we're gonna merge Zero's replay against Mira's and see what the difference was between Dot style and Mia style, and how Zero could get 2 seconds faster in the end. We have the Skeleton against Cactus Man, and we can see again that they're doing a little bit different start. They're not completely aligned here at the very beginning, but let's follow Zero here and see how he could save 2 seconds here in the end. And yeah, this start was just very tricky, and I'm not gonna go into depth analyzing, but there's so many different moves you can do to save a little bit of time here. And let's see, is it double or is it, oh, it is the double all-of-all push. Yeah, it's just so much stronger. You can tell like he gets a huge lead right out of that, and when you see it, it just makes complete sense. But it was just so hard to like manage to get it to work, to time those vaults well. But yeah, Sveiner already dropping Mira here. Oh, and he manages to keep his grip there, not even jumping. That's actually crazy. We're gonna go back and look at that. Oh, and he does go for a brutal here to get more leftwards momentum, and he's just so fast, man. He's just so fast. Oh, a nice all push there, coming in for this last pipe here. Good break, good, very, very low transfer here, almost hitting the head, and coming in here towards the end. And yeah, again, it's just a perfect run. Early jump, good low push here, gets straight into the pipe, and even like low grab of the flower to keep that wheel in front. And yeah, like first of all, of course, this Olo push, but you can tell he waits kind of a long time before this next Olo, so you just have to time it so well so you can get the second push there right at the very like lip of that edge that sticks up. And good push here as well. Tiny bit of brake there to get a good push from the ground to increase your rightwards momentum. Good push from the ceiling there to come down. And here also, this Olo vault push here looks very weird to me. But Olo to push from that edge up there to just increase your downwards momentum. It's all about this transferring momentum up, down, left, right all the time. And avoiding this polygon perfectly, you can see not touching it at all, whereas Mira gets a tiny bit of snag on it. And then coming in for a brutal here, not just a straight push like you can see Mira do right at the end of your screen, sorry. But coming in here, and yeah, just good transfers all around. This transfer, very nice. And the end, just perfect. Low and going up and also coming in low for the flower here. A beautiful finish by Zero and beautiful finishes all around, and that sees us with Zero securing his first place lead even more. But we see Audi dropping down because now he has skipped 3 events. But we see a lot of players here around the 400 mark, and after next video I will do one where I include skips. I'm a little bit behind on this video, so I can't really do it now because the next event already finished. But speaking of the next event, we have 2 very, very cool levels by Jonsta and Sunil, so you don't want to miss that video. Those 2 levels are like a work of art and they were so much fun to play. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.